The dead will rise. In 2012, when Rudy Eugene literally ate Ronald Popo's face, the talk of zombies has never been so popular. It was believed that the cause was a drug like bath salts, but it still has not been confirmed why he did what he did. Now, the thought of a zombie apocalypse certainly excites some people, and although he does not mention zombies specifically, Nostradamus does predict that the dead will rise from their graves. Not far from the age of the millennium, when there is no more room left in hell, the buried dead shall come out of their graves. He also wrote, when the number 7 rolls around will come the time games at the hecatomb, not far from the great millennium age, when the interred will depart from their tombs. His believers are certain that this is referring to the rising of the dead. Although no specific dates are given, it mentions the numbers 7 and the age of the millennium, so maybe this means the year 7000. Nostradamus researchers believe that the dead rising will be caused by some sort of medicine or disease, so maybe it could be a virus like Ebola that will cause the dead to be reborn. And it seems America are already preparing for an outbreak of the undead. Humans will learn to talk to animals. Nostradamus wrote in his book of prophecies that communication between humans and animals will be possible in the future. He believes that with the incredible advances in the science of telepathy, it will make this possible. He wrote that this shall lead to an upsurge in vegetarianism, as the hog will be a brother to man. Animal communication is something that has always fascinated us. In the 1960s, John Lilly, famously known for his creation of the isolation tank, began experiments in the Virgin Islands in an attempt to establish meaningful communication between humans and the bottlenose dolphin. There was also an invention in 2002 called the bow lingual, a Japanese device that claims to translate barks from dozens of different breeds of dog and outputs one of 200 phrases supposedly reflecting the meaning of the dog's bark. It was even named as one of 2002's best inventions by Time magazine. But it seems its accuracy isn't that reliable and more research needs to be done. Despite animal communication not yet being successful, there are some humans who believe they can communicate very well with animals, so maybe one day we will adapt or animals will adapt in order to make full communication possible. Or maybe there will be some sort of device, better than the bow lingual, that will allow us to communicate with our fellow animals. There will be a third Antichrist. The term Antichrist is a religious word, basically meaning an evil person. Men such as Nero and Hitler have been named Antichrists. One of Nostradamus' prophecies was that a third Antichrist, more evil than the first two combined, will cause massive world annihilation. Now, there are no names given on who this evil person may be, but this is what Nostradamus wrote, and many believe this is relating to the third Antichrist. Out of the country of Greater Arabia shall be born a strong master of Muhammad. He will enter Europe wearing a blue turban. He will be the terror of mankind, never more horror. So he says that a man from Greater Arabia will lead his forces on an invasion through Europe. Nostradamus' theories say that this invasion will start a third world war that will be far worse than all the other wars put together. When will all this take place? Well, it's believed that this writing is related to the start date of World War III. In the year 1999 and 7 months, from the sky will come the great king of terror. He will bring back to life the king of the Mongols, before and after war reigns. But if you watch my other Nostradamus video, this prophecy is believed to be linked to the September 11th Twin Tower attacks, so we don't actually have a date or, to the best of my knowledge, anything to work off to predict the date for the rise of the third Antichrist. World War III will involve nuclear bombs. So Nostradamus says that the war will be so terrible that the world will come face to face with final annihilation. Here he implies that the war might involve some kind of horrible weapon, possibly nuclear. The sky will burn at 45 degrees. Fire approaches the great new city. Many say Nostradamus is referring to a nuclear attack on New York City, the 45 degrees being the 45th parallel north, which is a circle of latitude that is 45 degrees north of the Earth's equatorial plane. It crosses Europe, Asia, the Pacific Ocean, North America and the Atlantic Ocean, with the line passing through New York. The sky will burn and fire approaches the great new city is believed to be a nuclear bomb that do produce an enormous amount of heat. Nostradamus also wrote, "By fire he will destroy their city, a cold and cruel heart, blood will pour, mercy to none." Now, there isn't much information on this, apart from the fact it seems to be linked with the blue turbaned third Antichrist mentioned earlier. So if you believe Nostradamus' predictions are accurate, it seems a man will come from Greater Arabia who is called Muhammad or has a link to a Muhammad. He will cause terror to the world and attack New York City with a nuclear bomb, and that may be the beginning of a world war. Research into warping time will lead to disaster. Nostradamus wrote that by researching how to alter time will cause a massive disaster. Scientists will attempt to alter time to help change the outcome of a war, possibly the enormous Third World War that he predicts. He says that near the end of a war, the research building where this time experiment will be taking place will be destroyed. The destruction will be caused by the vortexes of energy being created. Because the scientists will be dealing with powers they do not know how to control, that are not fine-tuned enough to work with, they will get out of hand. It's believed to involve England and Northern Europe and will have some strange side effects in the dimension of time in that local area. And that's pretty much all we know. Research is being done to find new ways of altering and bending time, so if a war breaks out and we hear about new experiments being done, then maybe Nostradamus was correct.